Journalism is undergoing a profound transformation, and the forces driving that change are both exciting and complex. The rise of digital technologies, social media, and the increased role of artificial intelligence radically altering so many things in journalism. How news is produced, consumed, and even understood. In today's real-time reporting, digital platforms allow journalists to deliver breaking news, reaching a global audience almost instantly. With data analytics and machine learning, news organizations can tailor content to the interest of individual readers, providing them with personalized news feeds based on past interactions. This improves how user engagement could help increase retention. How are Nigerian journalists leveraging the transformation? A focus on this segment, and my guest is the chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Grace AK. She will be speaking to us. Thank you so much for joining us, Madam Grace, on Insights.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, there's a serious transformation in journalism globally. Are we as journalists in Nigeria leveraging these opportunities?
Well, I would say yes.
Okay.
I heard you earlier talk about its advantages and disadvantages, and we are actually leveraging on that. AI is actually changing the profession, that's journalism, and in terms of fact-checking, data verification, it assists you to carry out your job, to file your story efficiently and effectively. But anything, like I always tell people, whatever has advantages has its disadvantages. So AI has come to stay. Technology is the end thing now, but we must also make sure that while we are using AI to carry out our duties effectively, we must be careful when it comes to misinformation, disinformation, and, letting the public know that what we are doing, it's ethical journalism and not just to pick from what AI gives to you. So give and take, yes, AI has come to transform journalism, but it must be done with a whole lot of responsibility.
Okay, we'll talk about more on artificial intelligence and automation in the course of our discussion. But what are the major challenges facing the future of journalism? Let's hear from you as a practitioner.
Well, a whole lot of challenges. We have the issue of intimidation, we have the issue of harassment, we have the issue of censorship, token independence of the media. And that is why, if you notice, the NUJ FCT, we've had a series of trainings and retraining to let us know that despite the challenges, economic challenges, poor salary structure, we will continue to reclaim the civic space. These are some of the challenges we are facing. Free press. Free press, whether we like it or not, is non-negotiable. So harassment of journalists, intimidation, assault, censorship, and so many. I mean, they are part of the challenges Nigerian Union of Journalists are facing in the country, particularly FCT.
Okay, you talked about free press. Can the press truly be free?
That is why there's need for collaboration, there's need for independency. When the media is independent, there's less censorship, in fact, no censorship. I will report and report accurately, ensure it is balanced, and I do not misinform the public. But what we are facing now, according to data and report with Reporters Without Borders, Nigeria in particular is ranking low, and it is not favorable, because for democracy to thrive, there must be free press. And free press will make us report accurately. Free press will make us report and speak for the voiceless. Free press will make us also have it at the back of our mind that whatever we are churning out or reporting, we are doing so because we need to give justice. Yes, as frontline workers in the quest for truth, justice, and national development, we go through a lot. But without free press, democracy will not even be here in the first place. So if there's free press, democracy has come to stay.
It has come to stay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pick up two issues. You raised it earlier, the issue of welfare and harassments on journalists. when we consider them, these issues, they actually affect reportage?
The affect, when you say the affect, it's not an understatement.
Okay.
I mean, it is an area we must look at, because I keep saying for a union or association to thrive, there must be welfare. Welfareism is top priority for everybody. You don't expect a reporter to go to the field and use his or her ID card as a meal ticket, and you expect the person to give you a report that is well balanced, a report that is devoid of biases. That is one area we are facing: poor remuneration, non-payment of salary for journalists, and most times they say we only prefer freelancers, you know, and you want freelancer and you want to get the best out of me. So the issue of welfare coming on board as the chairman of the NUJ FCT, it was part of our priority, and we made it a point of duty that we will do so by carrying everybody along. We are also looking forward to see the Media Enhancement Bill coming up by the National Secretariat, to see that the National Assembly, key stakeholders, policymakers, civil society organization, and media owners participate in to make sure that the bill sees the light of the day. Because if that happens, we'll see journalists, remuneration for journalists, you know, increased, and that alone will make a particular journalist or anyone happy, because I'm reporting and I'm glad that I have something to take home with. So welfareism is top-notch for me, and that's exactly what I am trying to do. We are also going to take up, not as a council, but to work together with the National Secretariat to see that media houses pay their staff and ensure that the pay is something that can take you home. Something that at the end of the month, you can actually afford a house to stay. And the NUJ FCT is also going extra mile to see how we can have affordable housing for journalists in the FCT, and in partnership with stakeholders. The last time we visited the Minister of Urban and National Development, Housing and Urban and Housing, yes, and the architect at Dangewa, and he gave us the assurance that he's ready to put smile on the faces of journalists. That is to say, if there is a title land, they are willing to build for us, and then you have to pay within the space of 30 years. So for me, it is a step in the right direction, it's a welcome development, but you must have a land to build it. So it's one of those things. You have an affordable house that you can actually put a roof over your head, and at the end of it all, you go back home. It's not rocket science. Is not, we are not beggars. I keep saying journalists are not beggars. They deserve the best. So if I'm not well paid, how do you expect me to live in an affordable house or get accommodation where I can actually smile at the end of the day I'm back home? So aside housing issue, which I feel should be addressed very well, we are changing the narrative, and we are doing so to make sure that we'll put smiles on the faces of our people. So we are hopeful that the NUJ FCT Council members of the NUJ will be putting on smiling faces very soon, and we are doing that with so much passion to make sure that we change the narrative. You go back to the issue of harassment. We've seen scenarios where journalists are being brutalized, harassed, you know, in the course of carrying out their duties without any, you know, without any reason for that. We have zero tolerance for that. I recall my current secretary who was also, you know, harassed while covering a protest, you know, peaceful protest. And that notwithstanding, we also condemned it in its totality, and we did everything possible to reach out to the relevant stakeholders, which is security agencies. So the major point here is to see how we can partner, to see how we can work together with security agencies, with stakeholders, to let them know that the media is your friend.
Yes.
The media is your friend. Journalists are your friends. So if there's any way we can partner and work together to see how we can make democracy to work and to thrive in Nigeria, we are totally in support of that.
Okay, that's good to know that welfare and security, safety of journalists, very clear. Now back to AI and automation. Changing technologies for some journalists could be very difficult, but when these technologies become the game changers, how do we thrive if we are to consider data privacy, plagiarism, and authenticity?
That's why I would always call for training and retraining of journalists. I did a training on multimedia journalism, and it was more about using your phone to get the news. You know, you can use your phone to do everything you want to do in the field, and get verify information. But whether we like it or not everything is correct. So while you're getting your datas, I mean, you make them factual, you must be careful to make sure that you do not misinform the public. So training and retraining is one area we must emphasize on, and will continue to do, so that with the advent of AI, we will use technology and AI, you know, very well and effectively without being misused. I will also use this opportunity to call on stakeholders, because it is not enough to embark on training. Another thing is to make sure it is consistent.
Yes.
You know, sustainability is one area we must continue to do. So both local and international training is advised, and that's exactly what we are doing. Multimedia journalism is the entity now, because you do not survive solely with what we have. People take news now using their phone. People no longer want to rush back home to go on their television. So I will still emphasize on the need for training and retraining of journalists to, you know, fish out and differentiate between the real and fake journalists, which it's been a very Herculean task for us and quite challenging. But we will continue to do so until we cut it down to the barest minimum. The rise of fake journalists is a problem, you know, in the country, particularly the FCT. You go for event, most times issues happen, and, you know, the first thing they say is they are journalists. And when you get to make your background investigation, this set of persons are not journalists. So it's like giving us bad name, and all hands must be on deck. You also, as a reporter, you must do everything possible not to hide the person beside you because you feel she's your friend and she wants something to eat. And when they say, are you a journalist? Yes, she's a journalist, thereby aiding, you know, fake journalists in the media landscape. So it's actually a problem for us. It's one big challenge. It's one big challenge that we must, you know, face. Because most times stories are out there, and where did you get the story from? Yeah, online platform. Is it real? No, who did so? And you check the background of that individual. He or she is not a journalist, no experience at all. But because I saw it somewhere or I had from somebody, I'm just quick to want to, you know, publish and break, and thereby breaking, you know, the news and the society. So that is one big area we must do. There's need for more awareness. There's need for more sensitization, and there's need for all hands to be on deck. And that's the essence of having media houses, yes, like the NTA. That's the essence of having, you know, other media outlets. We also are coming up, we are doing something that has to do with fake journalists, and to reach out to media houses to have this particular clip aired, and to let people know that it cannot be business as usual. When you're caught, of course, you will be dealt with, and the law will come full force on you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, on disinformation, it comes with many forms, from rumors spread on social media to propaganda through other means. As a critical player in journalism, can we have control on what is churned out to prevent this?
Most times I also advise, when you see a story, don't be quick to publish. Get to the source of that story. Most times, yes, we just want to publish because we want traffic. And by so doing, you're misinforming the public of you. And I know we have the Cybercrime Act and its consequences, you know, even though we have been doing everything possible to appeal to that, to make sure that we have some of the sections cut out. So it also has a long way. It plays a role when you misinform. using the internet, or maybe you publish something, privacy, and it's not meant to be, you will go in for it. So I will also advise that before you get any story turned out, you must get to the root of the story, the source of that news you want to break, to ensure that you have traffic, or to be called the first. We broke the story first. So it's not about breaking it first, it's about giving out the right information out there.
Okay. You know, oftentimes journalists run after meeting their deadlines, which is good because you have to make history from a very short story very important to the profession. But what about the health of a journalist? How do we navigate our path as we do this work in line with a sound mind and well-being?
Honestly, from my investigation, I got to find out that majority of the persons, found in the job, on the job, they do it with passion. I have passion as a journalist. And you get to find out that, yes, the issue of poor salary structure, remuneration is not there, but they are willing to die for the job, thereby forgetting health, forgetting a whole lot that needs to be taken care of. And most times, the task given to you, you're meant to do a special report. After that, you're meant to take the news. After that, you're meant to do another thing. Just one person, you have over 3-4 rows, and the day is fast spent. It goes like that. The second day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 year, you find it difficult to visit a hospital. The recent medical outreach carried out, it was observed that high blood pressure and sugar level was the dominant, like it was a prevalent issue.
Very common.
Very common. And most times we just hear Mr. A slumped, Mr. B slumped. It's not just because the person wasn't feeling too well, but when last did you check your blood pressure? So you must be well to get that story, because as soon as you drop, the job continues. That's the fact. But how often do we do that? Most times you don't have the time, you barely have the time. So your well-being is important. Health is wealth. We do not pray for anyone to drop, but what we're saying is on daily basis, regular checkup is advised. Health insurance, how many media houses have health insurance? That's another thing we're talking about.
Issue.
So it's also an area we must look into. While you have people who work for you, who are willing to die for you, are you willing to take care of them? How often do you want to even ask if they have had 1 square meal a day or gone to the hospital to check themselves? So it's also a call for journalists. Please, we have to make sure that you visit the hospital often and check yourself. Regular checkup. Early detection is the key. When you detect something and you take care of it immediately, you handle it, you arrest the matter immediately, it will go a long way. We want to live long. We want to live long. So at 40, it is no longer business as usual. You're no longer young. So whether that story is they're going to give you query or not, please take care of your health first and then attend to that matter secondly.
You have to be well to do the job. Very important. Grace Ike, Chairman, NUJF City Council, thank you so much for joining us on Insight, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on our focus. Thank you very much for encouraging we media practitioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it on this episode of the program. Do join us same time next week for more on Insight. My name is Nnamdi Odipo. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.